I'm back! Here I am yet again, but this time with a GP10 guitar processor with Cosm. That's what they say. But it's got one or two other things in it as well. So it can be nice, this is. Wait till we get to the actual review. I haven't plugged it in yet. I'm letting you into a secret, because I'm just like you. I'm just going to plug it in just as if it was you. There's a load of stuff on this, but I think first of all, let's whip the back off and just see what we're getting for the money. Real sneaky like. Hold on a moment. Okay, well I've run on the screws, and now it's the unveiling. Oh, I can't wait. Oh. There you have it. Well, you don't. I do. We're going to zoom in a bit closer and take a look, of course. So don't hold your breath too long. Let's do that now. Well, here we are inside the GP10. It's a bit different than that GT001 I had the other week or the other month. The one with the plastic case. I mean, first off, solid as a rock. Nice solid metal case. I like to see a bit of quality on cases, not some flimsy piece of plastic. This one's been sort of put together right, for want of a better phrase. And the board's nice too. You don't really need to even know what every single thing does, do you? What you can see though, straight away, if you know anything whatsoever about looking at circuit boards, you'll see that this board is a very high quality board. It's really put together right. One thing I noticed on it as well, it's not made in China, as you might think it is. And it's not made in Japan either. This is made where some of the technology used to be made to a very, very high standard at one stage. That's Taiwan. Now you might say, oh, Taiwan, that's all cheap and nasty. Well, really? Yeah. Wrong. It's not cheap and nasty anymore and hasn't been for a very long time. That's why they all moved off to China. In Taiwan, you pay a premium these days to get a premium product. There's no doubt about that. It says very clearly down here, made in Taiwan. Main board, GP10. You can see you've got custom chips, all the usual sort of stuff that the likes of Roland do. It reminds me actually very much like a GT100. I think the GT100 was a bit bigger, but then again it did different stuff. So you've got all the support chips, all the I/O on the back. This is the bit on the front for the pedals and stuff like that. Not really much more. I can tell you, flyers are nice. Everything's on little boards. It's all good. And away you go. It's brand new. It's just been released. I got it yesterday, I think, or a few days ago. A few days ago, I think it came in. So that's enough of inside, except to say that the quality on this thing really is as good as you get for anything like this type of product. So I'm going to box it back up and see you on the top. Hold on. I'm back. So is the GP10. Great looking piece of kit, honestly. Feel the quality in this stuff. It just feels right. None of that crappy welding that you get on some £2,000 pieces of kit I've seen. Unbelievable. Now what I like to see is a manual that's pretty straightforward. This one covers a number of languages, so it might look thick, but in fact it isn't. It's all good, that. I like to see that, don't you? You don't be faffing around, you know this sort, don't you? Yeah. Well, it's not going to happen with this. What about that? We're going to zoom in and run through this in a minute, and then you'll be able to hear it later. That should be good too. Well, assuming I'm on the old board we're playing. We shall see. Now I have a VG99, and this says here, V-Guitar Cosm, and they say, not me, that, oh yeah, this is like a VG99, it sounds, you know, it's got something there, it's all of this, it's all of that. Well, it might be, but it might not be. I mean, I've listened to them videos before, haven't you? So, let's zoom in, let's have a play with it, let's see what it really is all about. And then let's zoom out there. After we've zoomed back out to here. I'm getting worse. Hold on. Actually, before we zoom into the front and start twiddling knobs, what we're going to do is turn this thing around, have a look at the important bits at the back. Because if they aren't right, well, nothing is it? We need to make sure that's just rock and roll. So let's zoom and look at that first. Yeah. Let's take a look at the back of the unit. First of all, we got the GK3 input. And by the way, yes, it does come with a cable. You don't have to go and buy anything. And then we've got a guitar in and a guitar out. All simple. We got the output, left mono or right, left and right in stereo. It's very nice. We can connect phones straight to this unit, which is quite nice. I like that. There's a lot of units where you can't do that. And we've also got an auxiliary in. You might want to put your iPod in and play to it, or you know, the sort of thing that you do when you're at home. It doesn't have to be down at a gig or anything like that. It can be, but doesn't have to be. It can be used with your computer, all sorts of things. This one here, we already have an expression pedal here, but it says EXP2. Well, if you use this for EXP2, you can't use it for these other two things here, control 3 and 4. You've got control 1 and control 2, but you can use two of those Roland external pedals here and have a 3 and a 4, which can be useful, no doubt about that. But so can a secondary expression pedal. It's a bit of a make your mind up time. Pity they didn't put both on, don't you think? I've got a USB, which we'll come back to later. That's all very nice. Obviously the power, that's the on and off power, and this is not like a push it and it stays in type of switch. It's push it to make it, push it to break it, but it doesn't feel any different. So it's like an electronic type of latch, call it that. And then you've got your normal power supply in there with the usual cable to stop it all getting ripped apart. That's the back really. You can put a bit of a thing on it here to have it stop it getting nicked and things like that, but oh come on, this is rock and roll. We don't do that, do we? I'm back. I never really went anywhere. Oops, things have changed around here. Well, what's Tony doing? Well, I've got the trusty guitar with its GK3. I've got the GP10, very nice indeed. I like the yellow myself. Should have a Corvette like that. And I've got a PC, but we'll come back to the PC in a bit. What I really want to talk about is how you configure this to this. Okay, and that means zooming down and be able to check in a few settings. Not difficult to do, it's all covered in the manual anyway if you really want to do that, but it's dead easy actually. So what we're going to do is we're going to zoom in close here. We're going to make those adjustments to make the GK3 work in perfect harmony with this. And all will be nice from there on, or at least it will be if you do what you should, and it won't be if you don't, because I've been here before. Very important. Let's go and take a closer look. Well, this is what you see when you first turn the thing on, the dual sync. Dual sync. I thought it was something to do with the kitchen, but I'm wrong. You've got a number of buttons around here, a couple of controllers and things like that, but the guitar's up there, just off camera. What we need to do is we need to take that GK3 and enter a few settings into here, simply by going to System. And what you do is you move along until you find GK Connect Auto, GK Setting 1, they're all covered in the manual. I didn't change mine. GK3, nice. Now looking at this bit here, this is referring to the guitar scale length. That's a Strat. We've got a number of other things in here, a Les Paul. And what you've got to do is get to the nearest one. You can adjust it manually. That suits your guitar. Now the scale length for the PRS, I would set it at 635, which is about 25 inch. See, the thing is with the PRS, it isn't this and it isn't that, so it's not a Les Paul and it isn't a Strat. Oh, that PRS guy, he's got a lot of things right, but it's dead weird. So we set that to 635, all nice and simple. Now moving along, just with this button here, we come along to this thing here, distance 6, distance 5, distance 4. Now these measurements are very, very important, and I'll show you where they go. The measurements we're talking about is a distance between the edge of this, the centre of the pickup, from there to there, and this one happens to be 22, which is number 6. So that one's changing to 22. And what you do is measure each one, because each one's different, as you can see it normally is, and you put those measurements back into the GP10. Actually my number 6 was 20. And then we move on to the next one, and so on and so forth. My second one was 17. And my third one, oops, was actually 15. Fancy that. And you go work your way through all 6 until you're done. How easy is that? Okay, well, moving on quickly, if we move along a bit to the next parameter, we've got sensing 6. Now what this is about is, on your guitar, this sensor here, play that number 6 string as hard as you're going to play it live, or as hard as you'll ever play it live, and then adjust the parameter so that it never quite makes the end. It's like setting it up so it doesn't overload the pickup. That's really it. And you do that for each string. So if we just do this first one, you get a pick out. Here we go. You can see it's well over. So we want to adjust that backwards. Or do we? Yeah. Yeah, we do. Okay, you see the effect. Bring it back up. I'll leave it at that. What we do to set the sensitivity on 5 is just play the 5th string. You see it's way, way up there. Leave it at that. Next. And that's it. By the way, just pressing both of the controllers on the bottom part brings on a tuner, or a tuner, depending where you come from and whether you like sandwiches. Very nice. So let's take a look at what else we got in here. It's going to be rather quick because we could be here forever. There are thousands of parameters. Well, we've got an effects button here. We press that. We got an amp on there. We can simulate that on or off. Well, we can turn it on or off and get rid of the simulation. So that's a good point. I always like to be able to turn that off because if you've got a great amp, you don't really want that, do you? This one's set up for boogie drive. Fancy that. But there are loads of them. Absolutely loads of them. We'll run through some of them a bit later maybe. Amp gain 50%, level 40%, yeah, you know this stuff, bass, middle, treble, presence, brightness, gain, oh, I'll look at that later, solo levels, compression, speaker type, we can whiz through them. So lots of speaker emulations, and some of you will know that that changes the way this thing works. Mic type, again, load of mics. I'm not going to go through them all, it's just too many. Mic distance, mic position, mic level, direct level, FX on or off, more effects. Well, you can see some of them. I like the Univibe, bit of Jimmy. And on the go, there's quite a lot. I wouldn't say it's endless, because it isn't. But there is quite a lot to whiz through. Yeah. So let's set that back to where it was. There we go. Carry on along. On it goes, man. There's just, I'm not going to go through all these. I could be here for days. Got wah, all the other typical sort of things you get in a floor pedal. And through all the effects, chorus delays, reverbs, loads of choices for everything. EQ. I think there's little you couldn't really get out of this if you really spent a load of time on it. And there lies, even the way that they go through a chain. There lies the problem. Let me come out of that. With a unit like this. What does it? Let's zoom out of it. Well, let's take a look at what else we've got here just before we do go. We've looked at the effects. There's modelling with alternate tunings, which is like everything else. All good stuff. Synths. It's all self-explanatory really. Again, you can whiz through thousands of settings, oscillations on your synths and all sorts of stuff. You see, I could go on forever. And the thing is, I'm not. Quick look at the system again. Most of the things you've seen, but there's a load of other stuff. And you could keep going, patch settings, controller settings. You get the idea. USB audio, chromatic scales, pedal hold, they're quite nice, pedal bends, bend range, data, MIDI dynamics, play and feel, that's interesting, pitch, and on it goes. I won't waste your time with any more. These two pedals here are like enhancements to the standard sort of patch. So I've got them off, that's the standard patch. But they can be programmed for whatever you like really. So we do that, well, whatever that's been programmed in at, further up there, will turn on. And the same with this. So you've got, in effect, two ways of enhancing what's already there. And you can have either on or off, which is nice. And of course the other thing you can do is, with the bottom of these, you've got down here on the patch and up here on the patch, so we can just whiz through patches. Okay, you get the idea. Not a lot else to talk about really. I could spend hours on the alternate tunings. I'm not going to. It's just too much, man. But some of this is very, very useful, and you can get all sorts of tunings. Also, you can make it drop tuning with this, and all sorts of things. Anyway, let's go back up top. Well, I'm back again. Now then, that can be all a bit of a handful. You can imagine how much there is in this tiny little box for you to control. There are so many parameters. It makes your head spin. And that's sometimes the problem with units like this. You've got to remember it's a sort of MIDI driven type of, well, sort of MIDI driven, not as we know it. But you can go round in circles. So how are we going to handle all that? What we want to do is play, right? If we didn't want to play, we'd go and buy an Axe FX, wouldn't we? Yeah, don't waste your time. What we want is one of these that's simple. And it is, thankfully, to modern technology. Like the car, by the way. Modern technology allows us to sort of faff around a bit without faffing. And what they've done with this unit is made it simpler to use. You don't want all of that, you want some of that. Now the great news is, first of all, it doesn't have to be a Microsoft product. Just think of Microsoft without the aggro. Yeah, they call it Apple. So, if you've got a Mac, it'll work on that. And if you've got a Windows 8 or a Windows 7 or a Windows something or other, it'll work on that too. You might even have an XP because you don't want to spend any money. Yes. So let's quickly zoom into this screen and take a quick look at some of the control parameters that we've got that are more easily gettable, and some other features that I know you're just really going to like. Hold on a moment. Let's do it, man. Now then, it is a bit awkward from down here, so if I knock the camera, please excuse that. Let's take a look. I've installed this thing called a Boss Tone Studio. We just click that open. And the GP10 is connected with a USB cable. That's all it is. You can't connect it to your door. You can connect it to your window too. Tony's off at a tangent. Well, it all looks complex, but let's not have it complex. Let's go back in here. Right, this is called an editor stroke librarian. Now the thing is, when I first got here earlier, there was nothing in these. This was just blank. Now you'll notice down at the bottom here, we've got a thing called Tone Central. Well, let's just go and take a look at that. And what we've got is this magic load of styles of music down here. And we're able to say, well, I'm a bit of a jazz guy myself. And you click the jazz, hopefully, and up pops jazz on this side of the screen. And what you get, and I like this as much as I do, because I hate sitting here pressing buttons all day. Oh, look who it is. Alex. Great guy. I've seen him live a couple of times, and you really want to sell everything after you've seen him. So don't go see him. So he's got a load of various tones that are down here. You're not going to hear them even if I play them, because the camera isn't plugged in. It's coming out the phone's socket. Don't worry about that. Fact is, we can take all of these things and we can sort of add them. See them there? We can add them to the GP10. So I'm not going to go for jazz. Let's go for something a bit more me. Well, let's have a look at synth. That looks a good idea. On synth, you got 1, 2, 3, 4 packs. Now, what's great about these packs is they're all free. Or at least they seem to be. From my own experience, they seem to be free. So let's have a look at the Synth League collection. That all sounds good. There they are. And you've got a load of them. And it describes what they are on the right hand side there. Just down there. So we'll say add. If we do that and wait, completed. You blink and miss it. So let's go back into the librarian. Now magically we've got GP10 synth. See them? Actually, there are all types of synthesizers, and not just synthesizers with keyboards. There are acoustic guitar synthesizers, There are amplifier synthesizers. There's all styles of synthesis within this tone central. It's quite nice, really. It means simply that you don't have to faff around like you do with some of this other stuff. Now, I know that some of the other Roland products have got this, and some of you will be familiar with it and some of you won't, but all I can say is it saves you light years, absolutely light years. I can just take this and bung it across one at a time down into these anywhere I want. I did fill some up earlier because I'm like that. And if you look at these here from 91, these were some I did earlier, and you just literally pick it up and place it where you want it. And these top ones are usually empty, so I've got the factory ones and these at the top that I just decided I wanted to place there. Hope you get the gist of that. Now, just while we're on the subject of this software here, and indeed the manual for the unit, there's one thing you're really going to want to do, and that is to click on news there. Assuming we can. Come on. Okay, we can't. Well, it worked yesterday, and it downloaded more news. And part of the download of more news was some extra manuals or some updated manuals, and I can tell you now, right from the off, the first thing you should do when you've installed this is click on that. You'll have the little bell on one, well, it was when I looked at it, and you can download a manual that actually explains what you really should be doing with this unit, because the original manual was absolutely missing about 10 pages. As they do. They're just designed to make it difficult for you, but if you download the real one, that could be good. It's a little Tony tip just before you even go there. Trust me, unbelievable. Well, let's have a look at that one there. Okay, and let's have a look at the editor, because that's the other functionality that we have here. We've got this librarian for all your sounds, putting them in the right sockets, for want of a better word. And we've got this editor, so if we've got a particular thing we want to edit, oh, it's all good. In fact, it's all very good. So you've got all your various pedals or all your controls across here, and you've got the parameters to change down here, and we can click on that and you'll see how it's all built up. I'm not going to go into depths with it because it's way too much to try and explain actually on a video like this, but you can see all the stuff, all the parameters, how it all works, what you can add, what you can't. Oh, it's not an XFX, is it? No, surely. And then we've got these controllers and things that we can assign here. I'm not going to. Let's go back to the little pedal and we're back to where we were. So we can choose 1001 things. Okay, this is a synth, but you can see it's electric guitar, acoustic, electric bass, polyphonic FX. That's quite awesome when you get to hear that later. I won't bore you anymore with it for now, except to say it really is a load of parameters. We have another few things we can do, such as looking at the tuner. The tuner, there it is. Get one of them. Fancy that. It's an E. I've had enough of that one already. But you can mess around with that. We can play. Well, we can, but not as you know it. Because I'd have to import something to play. I think. I read the manuals like you do. We got system, which I like. And saves faffing around with all that other stuff that we did earlier. You can come down these things. Oh look, a GP10 owner's manual. That's the real one. I pulled down earlier. Oh, I don't know. And the GK settings. Remember them settings we had? They're all here. Well, you can see. That's where I adjusted them. It's all very nice, all very easy, all very simple, rather than faffing around on that little screen that we have on the Boss GP10. What's great about this, it's all in front of you, you can do it in real time, and away you go. Nice. Other parameters include the patch level, the tempo. We can choose on the output where we want to send it. You get the idea, don't you? Don't you? Normal pickup, modeling pickup. I'm going to leave you to that for this because I don't want to be on this all day. I'm back. Whoa, how good's that? You know, I still can't get over when you look at something like this for rock, for example. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 separate collections that are sort of floating there. All around rock. There's a few blues bits in there, and all sorts of stuff, but it's all great. You've even got examples on the screen of the guy playing it all. What's that saying in Japanese? But enough's enough of that. So what we end up with is a pedal. It's actually nothing like what it looks. It looks a simple pedal. It's just got a couple of controls. Control 1, control 2, up and down on your parameters. Bit of volume there. Patch and value there. Bit of a pedal there. And away you go. By the way, you can have 2 more controls. Control pedals, that is. So you could have control 1, control 2, 3 and 4. You can do a lot of stuff with that. Or you can add another one of these. An external one. Which I do have, so I might just do that on the demo. Now I do want to get the manual out for a second or two and just rabbit on about that. Some of the things that are in this little box. You'll be amazed. Anyway, let's start where it really matters. Modelling, poly, FX, alternate tuning and all that. Well, even just on the electric guitar style, we've got classic ST, modern ST, Tele, Les Paul, P90, 335, Alpha, Rick for Rickenbacker, Lips. I don't know what Lips is, but it reminds me of the Missy somehow. I don't know. Wide range, bright hum, fretless bass, rear pickup, centre pickup, front pickup, combination of all of them, and on it goes. Then we move on to acoustics. I like that. Acoustics, they're quite good. Remind me very much of VG99. We've got all sorts here: Martin D28s, OO28s, J45, B25, Guild D40, nylon, reso, banjo, sitar. I like it with onions. Body, attack, pickup select, and on it goes down there. We've got bass, we've got a fretless bass, jazz bass, precision bass, loads of adjustments for volumes and all that stuff. Then we come to synths. Synths on your guitar, it's all going to be good. Whoa, GR300, oscillating synth, wave synth. On the GR300 we've got, it goes on forever. Mode, volume, comp switch, cut off, resonance. It just goes on forever. I ain't need to sit there with that one. Let's turn it over. There's a whole side, a whole page based on one synth. That's just incredible. Let's turn it over quick. Looks a bit complex. Well, you can do it on the software, don't forget. Remember the software, it's all there somewhere. Alternate tunings. Before we get to that, we've got polyphonic effects. Now I can tell you now, when you get to hear these, this is awesome. This polyphonic stuff. I thought it's something to do with fill, but it isn't. It's not easy to explain, but distortion, crystal, rich modulation, slow pad, touch wah, and then you've got all these effects that go into it, that you can change the colour of them, the level of them, you can have distortion only on some of it. Touch wah, you've got, again, a whole pile of parameters. Then we come on to alternate tunings. This is pretty cool too. You can have open D, E, G and A, drop D, dash A, D modal, Nashville, -12 to +12 steps, raise or lowers the tuning of all strings. User settings, shift 1 to 6, specifies the amount of shift and semitones for each string. And then we've got fine adjustment. We've got 12 string guitar settings, string bending, other modelling settings such as turns the noise suppressor on and off, noise threshold, string levels, and so on. And on it goes. And you thought this was a tiny little piece of rubbish, didn't you? Yeah, well, some do. No, you got the wrong products. The GT001 that's the rubbish compared to this. We're back into effects settings and we're on preamps now. We've got so many preamps. Natural clean, full range, combo crunch, stack crunch, high gain, power drive, extreme wing, core metal, JC120, clean twin, pro crunch, tweed, deluxe crunch, VO, VO weed, boogie drive, Marshall 59 number 1, Marshall 59 1 and 2, rectifier modern, or vintage, TM lead, Soldano 5150, Bogner, original rock reverb, bass clean, bass crunch, bass high gain, and on it goes. More FX. It's endless, man. It's endless. You can also select these to be used at the following: overdrive, compressor, limiter, EQ, a wah produced for according to your picking dynamics, pitch shifter, harmonist, pedal bend, phaser, flanger, tremolo, pan, rotary, univibe, chorus, delay. Then we've got mid boost, clean boost, treble boost, crunch, natural. It's endless. I'm still going. So, enough of that. Now I can guess that by now you're thinking, oh my god, that must be really expensive. Well, over here in England, if you dig hard enough, you might just find one with the GK3 for about £360. That's about 430 euros, I think, give or take. And it's about, it'll be about 500 US dollars, give or take. And that's the cheapest I could find one anywhere. It's not much you can say about that. But I did get this from my local dealer, who struggled really hard to get it. The Academy of Sound, Co-UK. Great bunch of guys. They're only local to me, of course, but if you've got dealers like that, they're always very helpful if they can get the kit, or the gear, as they say in the States. They don't say kit, do they? Something to do with football, I don't know. Well, where do we go from here? Well, where we go is outside to have a listen. And I'm going to go through a few other tones that I think sound good, straight out of the box, no modifications. You don't have to be a wizard. You can even just load these straight in, where they've done it all for you. And, you know, some of those guys out there on the internet, duh, it sounds crap. Yeah, well, it might do to you. Certainly doesn't to this multi-billion-pound company that's put these out, and nor does it sound crap to these guys that are actually on there playing it. And I'll tell you now, when you go and listen to some of them guys with the same unit, in this case, often it's not the case, but in this case, you can get exactly the same results with this unit. And that's a bit of a change than the GT001, remember it? Go and check my review here to see a really bad Roland product. Now I do own a VG99, which I've considered doing some review on quite a number of times. The only problem is, you can see how complex this one is. Well, you could times it by 3 if you really wanted to on a VG99. It does far more than this thing will ever do, because this is like a cut back version of a GT100 and a VG99 come something else. But one thing I do notice with this one is that it's improved from the last time out, which I think was a GR55. I think it's improved a little. Some people may disagree. I didn't really think the GR55 was awesome. I thought it was okay, not awesome. And don't forget, you can stream this to your door. You can put headphones on it. You can put it in the back of an amp return, or all sorts of things. So the flexibility, it's quite cool. So regarding the review and the score, because I've heard this thing already, regarding that, the overall score, what you get, how much you pay, what's it worth, is it good, is it bad? It's metal, heavy. Yeah, it's 10 out of 10. How good's that? Now, if you compare that to the GT001, like I said on that other review, you'll see there's a bit of a difference. That had about 4 out of 10, I think. Would I buy another one of these? Absolutely. Well, would I buy one of these over and against a GR55? Well, personally, I would. I think this is a better solution by far, and the integration of the guitar in the way that it all works, for me, is far better than the GR55 with two separate wires to get this out or that. It was a bit awkward, that was. It seems to have all been corrected, although you don't have the bigger pedal and the bigger, the extra bits to press. You don't need them. You've got all this stuff, and you can do it all on here, or on your Mac, don't forget. It's a pity, by the way, that they just didn't do it on an iPad. As if it was on an iPad, it'd be awesome. Of course, there's no wireless in this, is there? Drat. There is a wireless in that, so you can connect it to one of them, leave it sitting in the corner and use your app. You get the idea. So it's 10 out of 10. It's that simple. It's awesome. For the money you pay, for what you get, for the online free stuff, it's simply awesome. And you can set up these, let's call them pedal boards, almost. Different choices. So you can just pull them in live. Oh, yeah, these are the next 3 songs, or this is the next song, or this is that. You get the idea. You can whiz through them. It's all good. Everything's good. I just want to tell you where to go to watch any more stuff, and that's www.youtube.com/TonyMcKenzie.com without the dot, or www.TonyMcKenzie.com, where this one is absolutely going to be put on there, reviewed in a better way than it has been already, and I'm sure it will be better all round if you go and watch that. It isn't on there yet, by the way, so won't be long before it is, I suspect. But I've got that many things to review right now. It's a bit painful in time. Lastly, before we move on, well, actually there's 2 things. Hold on. Here's the first one. My next videos are going to be these Baroni lamp things. These look great. Whether they are, we'll see. But these are, I'm not really a pedal user myself. I use racks. I'm old-fashioned. Look at me. Really? But the fact is, these are made by a company called Baroni Lab. Baroni-lab.com, I think it might be. I'll check that later when I do the review of this. But anyway, they've got 4 or 5 pedals. I think there's 4 I've got here. I'm going to review, and they're designed around having vintage tones from modern equipment. We've even got one with a tube in it. I'm more looking forward to this. These are the next series that are going to come up on video for review, and it looks good, man. So that's that out of the way. So we're left with what? Well, we're left with the playing. Whoa! Don't expect me to be a genius like you, because I aren't. Actually, I am like you, just normal. Well, I'm as normal as I can be, which isn't that normal. But the music's coming up anytime soon. I've just got one thing to say. If you're 39 or over, go and get checked out for prostate cancer. Because if you don't, you're going to go belly up, and then you won't be any more, or you'll fade away, or you'll disintegrate, or you do all the things that you don't really want to be doing. I mean, after all, what's a finger between friends? Stay cool. Here's the music. Rock and roll. See you next time. I'm back from being in the studio with this thing. Well, it's quite an awesome piece of kit actually. If you actually plug her in, you're actually using this in the studio. What I found is you do need to download those preset lists that can be put in the memory here, and you know, actually work through the songs with the right tones. So when you're just playing and it's just full of any old stuff that it comes with, well, really, you're dancing around and everything changes. So what happens is you change patch, nobody goes straight away. There's no room for manoeuvring. So you've got to get them little things right in the software that you download. It doesn't come with it, by the way. You've got to download it. And it doesn't come with a USB cable either, just for your own info. So those things apart, it's a pretty good piece of kit actually. Anyway, it's rock and roll. And don't forget those pedals that I reviewed too. That's in a different video. Here. Now go and watch it.